Hey guys, it's Mr. Mini Painter, and today I'm painting Gundabad Orcs as well as their captain, and I've used an upgrade kit on 6 of these Gundabads. To start, I base coated all of them with a silver coat, as most of their body is armor. I thought it was easiest. You can hand paint it if you want, but to paint an entire army it's all about speed and efficiency. So I started by painting the bases dried bark to cover up that silvery look on that, because you do not want to show a silver color on the floor. So I changed some of them, used the upgrade pack with a banner bearer and some extras, some different weapons, and I'm going to show you how I painted a couple of them. So for the skin on all of them I used Catachan flesh tone. There's not a lot of skin showing, but there's some on the face, some hands, and basically that's it. This is the captain you're seeing right now. He's a separately sold model, and in the Warband there's 12 Gundabad Orcs, 2 of each, so I changed 6 of them with the upgrade kit. Now I mixed some rock art flash in the Catachan flash tone to give the faces a highlight, also the hands, the fingers, but I left the skin fairly dark. Of course you can make some different skin tones with your orcs if you want, or make them all the same, it's up to you. Next I shaded it with some Carroburg Crimson. It's a nice complementary color to the skin tone you already have now. And after that there is some models who are showing teeth, and I picked those out with pure rock art flesh. Make sure to use a fine tip and pick out those tiny teeth that are showing there. I think there is about maybe 2 or maybe 3 of them, and the rest is not showing any. Then the eyes I picked out with some Palette Witch flesh. Not many of them have eyes showing. Again, also 2, maybe 3 models. And after that I shaded the entire metal parts with non-oil, quite heavy actually, because I wanted to look worn. And because it's not a clean armor, I also covered it with some Agrax Earthshade. Make it a bit dirty. Don't create big puddles, try and smear it out as you go. Make sure that when it dries you keep moving it around so it doesn't clog in one area. As you can see here on the shoulder piece, I had to clean that up a little bit afterwards. And by doing so I used Lead Belcher. Lead Belcher, I retouched those parts of the armor that I did not want to be covered in dirt, so it's kind of a highlight with the original color. So the edges, you want to look sharp. Next, the pants, I used Steel Legion Drab and Abaddon Black in about a 50-50 mix. The front of their legs is covered with armor, the back is also showing some pants. And now I'm using some Rhinox hide on the leathery flap hanging there. It's like a loincloth sort of thing. Give it a nice leather look. You can use any kind of brown you want. I like this Rhinox hide because it's nice and dark. Next I mixed some Baneblade Brown and dried bark together to create some highlights. You can touch quite large areas here if you want, as it adds to a dirty look. And then a final highlight of pure Baneblade Brown. For this part you just stick to the very edges of the cloth, the bottom parts, to give it an edge highlight by holding your brush sideways if you want. You can create some very fine thin lines and go over the edges. Next, some Steel Legion drab to highlight the pants we painted earlier. Just focus on the few parts that are actually visible and give it a nice edge highlight. Or parts, for example, here where you would imagine that light would slightly touch it. I didn't make my models too bright because I wanted to have a dark look. For all the wood parts on the weapons I used dried bark. So for the spears and halberds and whatever they're holding, use dried bark as a base color. If you want to give it a highlight, you can use some Baneblade Brown or mix it into that. Next step, the belt. Corvus Black. I wanted to have a dark belt, like a dark leathery look, and just black wasn't enough for me, so I ended up highlighting it and creating a kind of a black leather look with some Skavenblight dinge. Just focus on the edges of the belt and also use it for the cloth showing beneath the armor. Next up, dried bark. Dried bark on the models, the adapted models, which are holding a skull on their back. So it's a wooden stake of sorts connected to their backs. I then gave it a Mournfang Brown extra coat, and I used some Baneblade Brown to create a sharp, pointy end, as if it were chipped off or something like that. The skulls, I gave a base coat of Karak Stone and then washed it with some Nuln Oil. So this is only for the upgrade kit. The hair on the skull, I gave a base coat of Steel Legion drab. I wanted this one to be a blonde one. You can get some brown or black hair, or whatever you want. I highlighted the blonde hair with some rock art flesh. And also retouched the skulls with some rock art flesh to clean up the Nuln Oil and give it a highlight. Then some Stormvermin fur for the hair of the Gundabad Orcs themselves. Shade that with some Nuln Oil. And you can go even brighter if you want with some Dawnstone if you like. Next, some Agrix Earthshade on the blonde hair I painted before. And then for the straps around his shoulder pieces, the arm pieces, the leg pieces, I used Mournfang Brown. It's a kind of a bright look, but I like it as an extra detail on these models, since they're very dark. Galvorback Red on the Banner Bearer. Again, this is also for the only for the upgrade kit. So the regular Warband doesn't have this, but I really like this addition. I used Corn Red to highlight the Galvorback. And to brighten that up even more, add some Evil Sun Scarlet. Now I looked up some images online to put on the banner, and I saw a very nice graphic of the Gundabad mountain. So I decided to paint that on the banner. You can add as much detail if you want. For this I used some grey cere, because when you use pure white it usually doesn't end up very nice. So it's best to start with a grey tone. You can brighten it up afterwards if you are not satisfied with the end results. So for the wooden stick of the banner, again I used some dried bark, like with the weapons. And if you want you can highlight that a little bit, of course. If you want to do so, use some Gorthor brown. Then I used some rock art flesh on the straps holding the banner cloth. A nice little detail. On top of the banner is a skull you can paint the same way you did before. And that's it for the Gundabad Orcs, the captain and the upgrade pack, all painted into one nice warband. I hope you enjoyed this video, it was helpful in any way. Please leave a comment, because I like hearing from you, and please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll keep making more of these videos and keep you posted. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye!